Hi, everyone. Mike White here. Welcome to this week's blog post and happy Cinco de Mayo. For many parts of the country, this is a huge day of celebration. And in other parts of the country, they've adopted it as another reason to go out and have a good time and celebrate and have fun. And I think, to be honest with you, the more times we can find days like this to go out and celebrate, probably the better. So with that in mind, let's go back to the reality, sort of what I call this week, the news and the nonsense. Yesterday the Fed raised interest rates by 50 basis points and signaled ongoing increases in the short-term rates and the fact that they were going to start to pare down the Fed balance sheet. And while that certainly is good news heading forward and going where they need to go, in my opinion, it's about a year late from when they really needed to start moving. But the good news is, as expected, the bond market appreciated the news. They were happy with the announcement. They saw some instant improvement in bond prices, so the rate market was happy with that. And while that news may be short-lived, given we have unemployment data today and the jobs report on Friday, the reality of it is it's progress. It's progress toward the Fed following a policy that helps fight inflation. Inflation, obviously, the big enemy of long-term bonds and interest rates. So it's really important that we see this happen. It's really important that it is happening, that they've signaled it. I think part of the issues are, again, people who either don't know what they're talking about or who are saying things in a way to create drama or excitement or panic or news. And we'll deal with that a little bit later. We also got loan application information from the MBA this week, and applications, while they're off, purchase applications are off 10% year over year. They're stronger than they were a week ago. Heck, even refinances went up a little bit, and it still surprises me. The sheer number. Now, granted, refinances are significantly off where they were this time last year, but to still see the volume of refinances happening is very interesting, and I guess helpful. But the point is the purchase market remains solid, strong, and depending upon your marketplace, there's no lack of people interested in buying houses. So I think those are positive things going forward. Now, here comes some of the nonsense. And again, with social media and people who are, as I've talked about it in the past, saying things and doing things and making statements to generate clicks because that's how they make money, monetizing their clicks. So they get out there and they say things or do things or present information in a biased format to create drama as opposed to going through it. And one of those instances was, I saw a news report how layoffs continue throughout the mortgage industry and how lenders are having to lay off significant numbers of employees. I understand that's happening, and it is happening in large numbers across the country. But the reality of it is, all you have to do is take a look at these companies and look at the percentage of their business. The companies that are out there that are laying off these large numbers of employees were people who built up huge teams of people to pound refinances. They were literally in the business of literally pounding refinances, and their percentage of their business was, mostly, if not all, predicated on the fact that they were able to refinance people to a lower rate. That's what they were doing. That's what they were in business for. That's why they hired and trained people. was to take advantage of a falling interest rate market and people who could benefit from refinancing. Not that any of that is bad. Certainly, it was an opportunity for people to do. However, these so-called industry experts don't come out and say that. They don't come out and say, hey, we hired all these people knowing that there was a temporary opportunity to pound the hell out of refinances. And we fully expected that once rates started to rise, we were going to let go of all of these people. That they don't say that. What they say is, well, the housing market has tightened, and it's because of stress in the housing market, and it's because there's no inventory, all these things that they're talking about. And it's complete and total nonsense. It's garbage. It's not true, because you don't lay off 30, 40, 50% or more of your employees in the mortgage arena if purchases are down 10%. Just let's be honest, it doesn't make any sense. The reason you're laying off 20, 30, 40, 50% or more of your employees is because refinances are down 60 or 70%. And since refinances made up 80 or 90% of your total business, that's the reality behind what's happening. And I don't understand why people just can't tell the truth. So the point here is, yeah, it's likely that 2022 may not see as many purchase transactions as we saw in 2021. Well, isn't that what everybody was clamoring for? The fact that they were complaining that there were too many buyers and not enough sellers? Well, they were complaining that their inventory was the reason, and we've disputed that ongoing, because I don't understand if inventory was such a bad weight on the marketplace. How was last year the highest number of total resales since 2005? I don't understand how we had the best year in resales with more than 6 million resales. Forget the new construction. How did that happen if there was no inventory? Oh, inventory is declining. Well, okay, we've talked here a number of times about real time. We've talked now about days on market. We've talked about the fact that it doesn't take 6 to 8 months to sell a house like it used to. We've been through that dozens of times. But the reality of it is hopefully we're going to find a more normal level. Hopefully the interest rate market finds a more normal level. Hopefully, as we move forward and the Fed is serious about trying to get things squared away, the bond market will see this, and they will, take some of the volatility out of what's going on. Again, I say that given we had a huge boost to the bond market yesterday, and we're facing unemployment numbers today and tomorrow. But the reality of the housing bubble piece, again, is nonsense. And if you want to keep going back, please tell me when you're not dealing with multiple offer situations. Please tell me that. Tell me when we're dealing with more sellers than we are buyers. Tell me when you're in your marketplace and the rental market isn't going up at 20, 30, 40, 50%. Okay, please tell me when you start seeing those signs. Then we can talk about the fact that we're slowing down the pace of, forget housing bubble. Okay, these people keep talking about this housing bubble. And I saw one guy yesterday, our foreclosures are up 187%. Well, dipstick. Of course, foreclosures are up over this time last year and the year before. It was against the law to foreclose on somebody the last 2 years. So shocking. And it doesn't mean people are being thrown out of their houses. It means they've been noticed that the house is going into foreclosure. And most of these people who are going into foreclosure, if they paid any attention to what's going on, they'd sell the house and put money in their pocket and walk away, because it's hard to find a house right now anywhere in this country that's upside down. That there's more money lent against that particular house than there is the number of what the value of the house is. There may be judgments, there may be liens, there may be all sorts of other things attached to that house. But it wasn't because of the first mortgage that was placed on that house when that house was purchased. So again, I just wanted to share the information with you. I get all the stuff that's going on. We've talked about where to find data, real data. We've talked about showing people what happens when the Fed is raising rates and how most of the time mortgage bonds improve. We've talked about what the actual costs are, and oh my God, rates at 5 or 6%. It's not the end of the world. Yes, it's more expensive, but so's food and gasoline and everything else that you're looking at right now. So the reality of it is, take a step back, look at the real information, understand where things are, and put it into perspective. And if you have any questions or comments, it's Mike, imtcoaching.com. Take care.